The war in Ukraine has entered day 32 and Russia's war machine is not slowing down. The Russian Defense Ministry shared video footage of an airstrike on a Ukrainian Buk missile system performed by an Iskander missile. In Mariupol, residents are hunkering in basements as they try to stay alive amid the destruction around them. Fresh explosions were reported near Ukraine's western city of Lviv as President Joe Biden wrapped up his visit to neighboring Poland. Meanwhile, Ukraine's capital has announced a new 35-hour-long curfew. Kyiv mayor said the curfew will run from 8 p.m. local time on Saturday to 7 a.m. on Monday, with local residents allowed to leave their homes only to get to a bomb shelter. Meanwhile, the southern port city of Mariupol has suffered relentless shelling since Russia began its operation in Ukraine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy expressed gratitude towards his soldiers on National Guard Day. Zelenskyy awarded troops and had photos taken with them.
This is the name of the cycle factory. It was a bicycle factory. Ardes, a big cycle factory here, which was destroyed by this missile strike. Look, the smoke in the air everywhere, and the whole factory was destroyed. This is the name, Ardes. Look here, from this end to that end, which is about 200 meters away, everything destroyed. This factory was hit in the morning by a missile, a Russian missile, and still the fire is burning. And it looks like that the attacks, which we suppose have probably stopped, are still going on, but they have not happened in the Kyiv city proper. This place is about 15 to 20 kilometers away from the city, very close to Irpin, where the fighting is going on, and we can hear anti-tank weapons firing probably on Russian tanks, and this firing is probably done by the Ukrainian forces. This is Rajesh Pawar for India Today on the 31st day of the war. I'm right now here in the old quarters of Kyiv city. This is wartime, 31st day of the war, and people are having a small concert here, and they are trying to find some little joys. They showed up, focus on the break. It's okay. So this is a small concert which is going on. A friend of mine informed that this is how people in these war times are trying to cope up and trying to find some kind of solace and happiness in these difficult times. Can you share a lot? Slowly, keep it there for a time. This is a very ancient cathedral, one of the landmarks of Kyiv city, and this is the old quarter of the city. You can see this. Cobblestones, the streets. This is the old quarters of Kyiv city. This is Rajesh Pawar for India Today on the 31st of the war from Kyiv city.
The western Ukrainian city of Lviv, which has acted as a safe space for Ukrainians fleeing the war, has become the latest target of Russian airstrikes. According to reports, 3 loud explosions were heard near Lviv on Saturday, triggering air raid sirens in the city. 5 people were injured in the blast in the outskirts of Lviv. Heavy black smoke was seen rising from the northeast side of the city. The attack on the western city came at a time US President Joe Biden was in Poland, leaving a distance of only 400 kilometers between Biden and the missile strikes. On day 32 of the war, Russia continues bombardment in Ukraine. In the latest, the Russian Defense Ministry has released footage of what it said was the launch of Caliber cruise missiles, which hit their target in the Zhytomyr region in the east of Ukraine. In the last few days, Putin's army has launched several missile attacks on Ukraine. Earlier, Russian forces launched missiles from the Black Sea and several other locations on Ukraine. Lusk Military Airfield, Ivano-Frankivsk Air Base, Melitopol Air Base and several other airfields in Ukraine have already witnessed Russian bombardment, which led to mass destruction and loss of lives. My colleague Geeta Mohan, our Foreign Affairs editor, is on ground. US President Joe Biden's Poland visit concluded with a massive statement against Russian aggression. After meeting the refugees who fled Ukraine amid the Russian assault, the US President called Putin a butcher. In a first since the start of the war, Biden held a meeting with Ukrainian ministers in Warsaw. Sending across a message of solidarity, Biden praised Ukrainian President Zelenskyy and said the entire world is standing with Ukraine. Earlier, the US President visited Rezor, a town close to the Ukrainian border where the US troops are stationed. The West has piled sanctions on the Russian economy, and the latter is already crumbling under the weight of it.
What were the commitments with
this? I mean,
Ukraine?
you see this, and you're dealing every day with Vladimir Putin. I mean, look at what he's done to these people. What does it make you think?
He's a butcher.
Russia was bent on violence from the start. I know not all of you believed me and us when we kept saying they are going to cross the border, they are going to attack. Repeatedly, he asserted we had no interest in war, guaranteed he would not move. Repeatedly saying he would not invade Ukraine. Repeatedly saying Russian troops along the border were there for training, all 180,000 of them. There's simply no justification or provocation for Russia's choice of war. It's an example of one of the oldest human impulses, using brute force and disinformation to satisfy a craving for absolute power and control. The private sector is acting as well. Over 400 private multinational companies have pulled out of doing business in Russia, left Russia completely, from oil companies to McDonald's. As a result of these unprecedented sanctions, the ruble almost is immediately reduced to rubble. The Russian economy, that's true, by the way, takes about 200 rubles equal $1. The economy is on track to be cut in half in the coming years. It was ranked, Russian economy was ranked the 11th biggest economy in the world before this invasion. It will soon not even rank among the top 20 in the world. American forces are in Europe, not in Europe, to engage in conflict with Russian forces. American forces are here to defend NATO allies. Yesterday I met with the troops that are serving alongside our Polish allies to bolster NATO's frontline defenses. The reason we want to make clear is their movement on Ukraine don't even think about moving on one single inch of NATO territory. We have sacred obligation. We have a sacred obligation under Article 5 to defend each and every inch of NATO territory.